We're gonna raise some insects,
Ladybugs
and praying mantis, painted lady butterflies, doing metamorphosis.
Hey bug fans, we hope you've been having a fun and safe summer. We've been observing and discovering a ton of new and cool bugs that we have not seen before on Bug TV. So we thought we'd make a special summer episode of
Bug
Bug
TV!
TV!
But before we get started with all those cool bugs, we thought we'd tell you about these super cool t-shirts that our good friend Paul made for us based on the Bug TV logo that Asa designed. Check it out!
Thank you so much, Paul. We love these t-shirts, especially the backside that has our names on them. Now on with the show.
Hello!
Hi everyone! We're here with our newest Bug TV co-host. This is Poppy. Poppy, come say hi.
Hi!
We are here to enjoy the sounds of a very common summer insect. Ooh, look at that beautiful sky.
The cicadas. Meow, meow.
Can you hear them? They are making a racket right now. They sound a lot noisier, don't they, Tate?
Then the periodic cicadas.
Yeah, those periodical cicadas. I don't think they made as much of a racket because there were fewer of them. And do you remember like how big they were?
Tiny.
Tiny. Yeah, when compared to their bigger cousins, the ones that come every year. So they've emerged and they're up in the trees. And you've probably also seen their exoskeletons laying around. Have you seen any? We're going to try and find some and compare them to the ones that we found earlier in the spring in other episodes of Bug TV.
Yeah.
Let's stop and listen again.
You know what other summer bugs are out here? Mosquitoes
Ooh.
and fireflies.
Oh yeah. I think there's some fireflies back behind us there. Let's go take a look.
Here I am catching a firefly. Oh, that one.
Can we see? Wow.
Oh no, Poppy. Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh, Daddy.
Oh.
There it goes. This one's fun.
Here's some more awesome nighttime footage. Do you know what this is? Yeah, a cicada nymph.
So must have just emerged, huh?
Look at these awesome thorn bugs we found on our redbud tree. They use mimicry to look like thorns so predators won't think that they're a delicious snack. Whoa! Look at that dragonfly. That's a cool one. It's red.
I believe this species of dragonfly is called the common darter.
Wow, we saw a lot of really cool dragonflies this summer. Did you? Like laying eggs or something?
Who knows what this insect is crawling on the inside of our window screen? It is a close relative to grasshoppers and crickets. It's the katydid. They got their name from the sound they make. Some people think that if you listen closely to a katydid's call, it sounds like this. Katy did, Katy didn't, Katy did, Katy didn't. No summer special edition of Bug TV would be complete without talking about butterflies, like this amazing and beautiful black swallowtail. And how beautiful is this blue butterfly? Look at the blue blending into black with a little bit of rusty orange on the wingtips. We had to look it up. We'd never seen this one before. We think it's a pipe vine swallowtail. But then again, it doesn't have those two swallowtails on the back, so we're not sure. Oh boy, look at this monster! This is the biggest butterfly we've ever seen!
Oh my gosh. What do you guys think it is?
A giant swallow, like some kind of giant eastern swallowtail.
We looked it up in our butterfly golden guide, and sure enough, it is the giant swallowtail. The most amazing insect, if not the most amazing animal of all, the monarch butterfly. Here, it's feasting on the nectar of its host plant, a common milkweed. And here we can see some eggs that were laid on a common milkweed leaf. Check it out. Future caterpillar. And here's what those monarch caterpillars look like, feasting as they do on milkweed. This type of milkweed is a little bit different. It's called butterfly weed. Look at it chomp, doing its job to get big and chubby before it turns into a, do you remember? That's right, chrysalis. Those hungry caterpillars were being raised by my mom and the boys' nanny, Marguerite. She loves finding monarch eggs and bringing them inside to observe them and learn more about them before releasing them when they emerge as adults. Here's another cool photograph she took. Look at that J shape that the caterpillar is making before it makes its chrysalis. At the left, you see that beautiful emerald jade green with gold specks. Classic monarch chrysalis photo. And the chrysalis in the middle, look at how dark it's getting. You can even see the wings of the butterfly. That means it's about to emerge. And here's Marguerite telling us about some monarch eggs that she found on a leaf of milkweed. So much of our love of nature comes from her. We are so grateful that she has taught us to love nature and how to stop and look for neat things all around us.
The rest of this summer episode of Bug TV, we're going to be talking about aquatic bugs.
Oh, hold on a second. Before we get going, we should probably check to make sure that everybody out there understands what that word aquatic means.
Let's ask Poppy. Poppy, what does aquatic mean?
Okay, so since Poppy didn't know, we'll tell you. What does aquatic mean? Tate.
It means that a bug that lives in the water. Or something that lives in the water.
Yeah, it can be any organism that lives in the water is an aquatic organism. Organism means living thing. So we thought that we'd teach you about how dragonflies are aquatic insects.
Wait. Dragonflies? No way. They fly.
I know! Isn't it amazing? They actually begin their life as aquatic creatures before they become those beautiful flyers that we so often see in the summer. All right, let's get right into it.
Or a larva?
Boom. Let's see some footage about that. So let's swim into this aquatic portion of our episode. Go! Sometimes finding an aquatic habitat for bug research is as easy as pulling along the side of a bike trail and turning over a few rocks.
Okay.
Bug TV, talk to me about what we've got here.
So first, we found these cool striders. Here, let me try and get it for you guys. Oh, it's
So you're calling it a strider? Look at that.
Look at how fast he goes. So,
Hold on, let me get a close-up on that water strider. Whew. Okay, then what?
And There's a ton of little snails.
Amazing. All right, what do we have on this rock here?
We have a literal live dragonfly larva.
Okay. So you turned over that rock and saw it?
Yeah, we should get it back in the water. Let's see how it goes. Look at it move. Awesome. And in this little shallow pool, there's a ton of fishies under rocks.
It's hard to believe that this aquatic creature, remember aquatic means living in the water, is going to grow up to someday be a dragonfly. So let's learn about the dragonfly life cycle. First, the female will submerge her abdomen in water to deposit her eggs. She can lay hundreds of them in a day. After a week, the nymph will emerge from the egg and remain in the water for a few months to a couple of years. Amazing. Surviving off other insects. Oh my gosh, they will actually eat other insects. They are such cool predators. Then there's something called the instar stages, when the nymph will go through several instars before reaching the metamorphosis stage. So instars means more and more molting. We talked about that in previous episodes. It will shed its exoskeleton each time to make room for growth. Once ready, the nymph will emerge from the water and attach to a nearby plant. The puffy exoskeleton will then split open. A dragonfly emerges. The still vulnerable young adult dragonfly carefully curls out of its split exoskeleton and then needs to wait until its legs and wings harden. It needs the sun to dry out. And then it can fly away. Here's that whole life cycle in one handy-dandy picture. In this picture, the nymph is referred to as a larva. I'm not sure, but those two words, nymph and larva, can sometimes mean the same thing. So here we see adult laying eggs, and the eggs hatching to become the larva or nymph, molting, and then adult. Isn't it incredible that a creature begins as an aquatic creature and then becomes a flyer? Before a family canoe ride this summer, we were lucky enough to see a newly emerged adult dragonfly. Remember, Bug TV fans, these are the special kinds of things that you can sometimes see if you slow down and take a look around wherever you are. So, when you are learning about dragonflies, you're going to run into some of their cousins called damselflies, and it's important to know the difference. Have a look. What are the differences that you see? And here's the damselfly life cycle. It's almost exactly the same as the dragonfly life cycle. Their nymphs are aquatic creatures too. Fishing is a great activity for catching a glimpse of cool aquatic bug life. Take a look on these lily pads. Look, there. It's a fresh molt. And over here, okay, dragonfly or damselfly, skinny body, it's gotta be, yep, damselfly. We were enchanted by all of these amazing little whirligig beetles. They live on the surface and are called whirligigs because they whirl around and around and around searching for food. Here's a close-up view of the whirligig beetle. What body parts does the whirligig have that help it be a good swimmer? Yeah, I agree. I think it's those back legs that look
like flippers. Speaking of cool body parts, look at how the whirligig has eyes that look above water and eyes that look below the water. Now let's look at some different aquatic insects. This time, we're at a pond.
Try not to step in the sand.
Are those insects moving in a whirligig kind of way? No, they seem to be darting about on the surface. Ooh, there's a fish too. Oh, another fish. So, in order to get a closer look, sometimes you have to catch some of the things that you're studying. We caught some of these insects and put them in a bucket to further observe them. Oh, what is that? That is a back swimmer because it swims on its back. Ooh, it's cleaning its front legs. And those little ones, oh my gosh, there's a baby catfish. Those little ones darting around are water striders. They stride on top of the water. Stride means to walk. Look at those cool aquatic creatures. So this is a back swimmer. Look at those two long swimming legs. And here's a water strider. It can stay on top of the water. So now we're looking at the same pond and these water striders and back swimmers. What do you see? Oh, someone wants to eat those insects. Those are the baby catfish. Oh yeah. Oh, and I see it.
Yeah, Dad, you got one tiny minnow. Oh, Dad, there's minnows down here. Daddy.
What do you think it is?
Dragonfly larva.
Hold it still, sweetie. So while we were in the field capturing and studying insects, we wondered if this was a dragonfly or a damselfly larva or nymph. So when we got back home, we got out books. That's our first thing we do when we do research. And if we can't find our answers there, we'll go to the internet. So check it out. On the internet, we found this photo of a damselfly larva. So what we were holding was actually a damselfly larva. They look a little bit different from their cousins, the dragonfly larva or nymph.
You gotta know there's crayfish here to see crayfish.
Not all the aquatic creatures we saw were insects. This is a crayfish, which is a crustacean, like lobsters and crabs.
Oh, giant one! Giant!
Giant what? Fish or?
Cray.
Oh, I see it. Wait, hold on. Don't get it yet. Oh.
Yep. Oh, and there's another one. I'll go for that one first. You zeroed on it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Went back into its hole.
Another cool non-insect discovery. Yeah, that's right, a frog. Frogs and toads and salamanders are amphibians. The more you hang out in an aquatic ecosystem, the more cool creatures you're going to see.
Here goes again.
Did you see that?
Oh my gosh.
It got one in its talons.
Is it an eagle?
It might be that it's a young eagle.
Or is it an osprey?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's an osprey. The white head. Osprey.
But back to insects, because after all, this is not frog TV or crayfish TV or bird TV. It is bug TV. So what do we have here? Let's remember what we've been learning about dragonfly life cycles. Yeah, that looks like the shed exoskeleton of a dragonfly that's climbed out of the water onto that reed in order for it to transform or metamorphosize into an adult. Let's hear Tate and Asa talk about it.
Okay, guys, we found these two, I think, dragonfly larvae. That's what you think, right, Asa?
Mm-hmm.
You think? In Wisconsin. And so they're
on this pond in
Oh,
the
yeah.
reeds.
So they were over here. And are these the actual animal themselves?
No, they're the exoskeletons. But one is way bigger and looks different from the other. Do you guys think they're a different species?
Let's see. Let's talk about what we think the differences are. What do you notice?
I noticed that it has a bigger head and a longer tail. This one. Abdomen.
Oh, good use of the word abdomen. Let's look at those, the abdomen endings.
little wings.
Oh my gosh. Now let's learn about how all these aquatic creatures depend on each other to survive.
Okay, guys. Me and my dad were just fishing, and we found a big food web here. So the bugs in the water, that are the tiny bugs on top of the water, the tiny catfish and minnows are eating the little bugs, and then the crayfish eat those catfish.
Wait, should we show some of the crayfish remains that are in the pond?
Sure.
Okay.
Some of the crayfish, and then
Ooh, do you see all the leftover claws?
the tiny bugs here, and then over there is the catfish.
Okay, so you were saying, does something eat the crayfish?
The raccoons, because we just found their food, their scat, feces, whatever you like to call it.
I think scat's the right word.
Okay. And then there's a ton of
Crayfish remains. Can you point without touching? Yes. So the raccoons have been eating the crayfish. And then, what do you see on top of on the scat?
the flies.
Flies.
So it goes in the bugs again.
Oh my gosh, the food web broadens. We need to draw a picture of this amazing food web.
So we decided we might as well draw a food web.
Yeah, a pond food web to be exact. A food web is a scientific drawing that's meant to look like a spider web. All of these lines and arrows you see show how energy flows from creature to creature in an ecosystem when they eat each other. So Asa, where does every food web start?
The sun.
Yeah, do you see that sun? The sun's energy is flowing into the algae, the plants that are growing in the water. And then what eats the algae, Asa?
All the different insects, like back swimmer, water strider, and zooplankton, and even crayfish.
Yeah, even the crayfish, though they're not insects, they're eating that algae too. So that's why you see that line going in there. And zooplankton aren't insects either. They're even smaller than insects. Insects like to eat them, and they're a super important part of the food web. Then we have the fish that we saw, right?
Yep. Oh wait, we almost forgot dragonfly larva.
Oh my gosh, that's an insect. So it's so important to see how insects are such a vital part of every food web. If you take out those insects, all of it falls apart. These other creatures won't be able to survive because look who eats those insects.
Bullfrogs,
The catfish.
and the minnows. But did you know that dragonfly larvae actually eat minnows?
Oh, they are voracious predators.
Oh yeah, and remember the video we saw about the osprey catching the fish? That was really cool.
Yep, that's why they're on here too. And the raccoon, even though we didn't see it, Tate spotted the scat, and the scat of the raccoons was filled with crayfish remains, and the crayfish feed on some of those insects, so it's all connected in this web. And then, Asa, who's that last person there?
An angler, someone who likes to fish.
Yeah, when people go fishing, they're part of the food web too.
'Cause they eat fish, right?
Yeah. We hoped you learned a lot more about summer bugs on this summer special of
Bug TV! Bye!
Enjoy the rest of your summer!
Wait, so what now? Eggs or something? Can't really tell. What?
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. Oh. Oh, I see what you're saying. Something coming out of his abdomen? Wow.
Ace, would you put your hand near it to give it a little size perspective?